No, hold on. All right. The meeting to order the Greenwood Common Council on Monday, March the 18th. If you would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. After the pledge, please remain standing. We'll be led in prayer this evening by Sean Holloway from First Baptist Church of Greenwood. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in prayer. Lord, we come to you now as servants of you and the people of this city. When these servants grow weary, refresh them. When they are frustrated, give them a sense of your peace and guidance. When they begin to feel alone, make your presence known and journey along with them. Lord, you have blessed us all with a wonderful city in which to grow, work, and play. Our city boasts incredible beauty, opportunities for family and businesses, and for all of this, we are grateful to you. In a time of one negative news report after another, we can still have hope. Now, as these servants go about the business of governing, guide them into your will for the benefit of all. Let no division, animus, or apathy stop the good work of this honorable body. It is in the name of the Lord that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. A roll call.
Veteran. Here. Campbell.
Here.
Gibson. Aye. Hill. Hopper.
Here.
Lesky.
Here.
Manship. Moan.
Here.
Williams.
Here. We do have a quorum. Just note that Mr. Hill and Ms. Manship are not here this evening. All of you should receive copies of our minutes from our last regular meeting on March the 4th. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Lexi. Second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Betron. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, then roll call.
Veteran. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill. I'm sorry. Hopper.
Aye.
Lesky.
Here.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye. Minutes are approved with a vote of 7-0. And just so everybody knows, normally when the clerk is here present, she has a sheet where she's able to rotate the order in which we do the votes. Chances are tonight that would be a little more difficult, so we'll just probably do them in alphabetical order the whole evening. So Ms. Betron, you get to vote first every time. All right, reports, Corporation Counsel.
Corporation Counsel has nothing to report.
A controller.
So I have one item for you there. The RDC annual report is provided to you. That is new statute went into effect this year that it needed to be provided to council. Does not require any action on your part. Delivered to the RDC last meeting. So this is the same report they got, just the annual data for the Redevelopment Commission of the TIF districts.
All right, any questions from Mr. Wright? All right, thank you very much. Committee board reports, y'all should have received a copy of my report from the last RDC meeting. If you have any questions, let me know. Any other committee or board reports? Seeing none, moving on, this is an opportunity we set aside for public comments. If you're here tonight and wish to address the council concerning items that are on tonight's agenda, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record. There's a 5-minute time limit per speaker. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comments. Ordinances, none under notice of intent to consider. First reading, ordinance number 2413.
An ordinance to establish a parking garage operating fund, a parking garage capital replacement fund, and to authorize the transfer of appropriation from the cumulative capital development fund to the parking garage operating fund for startup expenses, sponsored by Hopper.
So moved. Mr. Wright. We have a motion by Mr. Hopper. The second by Mr. Lexi or Mr. Moan. Any, Mr. Wright?
As we discussed last meeting, I would like to request suspension through the second so that we can start paying the bills to the parking garage operator.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Wright about the ordinance? All right, we have a motion and a second on first reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call. First reading, ordinance 2413.
Veteran. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Resolution or ordinance 2413 passes first reading 7-0. Do I have a motion for suspension through second reading? Motion by Mr. Hopper.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lexi. Any discussion on suspension? Hearing none, then roll call on suspension.
Veteran. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Ordinance 2413, the rules are suspended by on a vote of 7-0 through second reading. Do I have a motion on second reading by Mr. Hopper, second by Mr. Lexi. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call. Ordinance 2413, second reading.
Veteran. Aye. Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Ordinance 2413 passes second reading 7-0.
Thank you.
Second reading, there's none. New business, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 2414.
An ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 4, Section 8-20 of the Greenwood Municipal Code to prohibit parking on the portion of the drive or driveway that forms part of a public sidewalk, path, or trail within the city of Greenwood, sponsored by Gibson.
Anybody here want to talk about that? Staff? Ms. Gibson? Oh, Mr. McLaughlin.
Chairman McLaughlin, Deputy Mayor. This is in regards to vehicles that are parked over the sidewalks, where there's vehicles, trailers, anything that's blocking those. There's actual things that has to do with impeding the flow of pedestrian traffic, just like car traffic. So if you go through any number of neighborhoods, it affects the older neighborhoods more so than others, or maybe where we've passed ordinances that allow a shorter setback for driveways. So we've received, each year it gets up, the complaints are getting higher each year. More so, they first come in from the elderly. As they're walking down the sidewalk, they have to walk out into the street, or if they're in a wheelchair, motorized or the other, they have to go out through the street, go around the car that's parked over the sidewalk, or a trailer, or whatever that might actually be. So this was something that was passed several years ago to allow that. But I can tell you that we have several neighborhoods that are maybe within 20 years old that also create this problem. And code enforcement's told me over the last few months more and more, but it really affected it primarily. I know Northern Park, probably one of the older neighborhoods, only set up to have, one vehicle or whatever back in the 50s. No more than two. Of course, you have a household that moves in, you might have 4 or 5 drivers. I mean, I think you go through a lot of different subdivisions and see cars parked in the front yard and stuff. And they're not sit there under a tree to be waxed, but they're sit there, as you can tell, they're being parked there. So this would stop any type of people parking across the sidewalk, whether it's trailer, vehicle, or otherwise.
Any questions from the Deputy Mayor?
I have questions. So if we made an ordinance that people aren't supposed to park on the street, then they can't use all of their sidewalk. What is the solution for those people who do have multiple drivers? I have 6 drivers that live in my house. So where do all the cars go? Like what is the solution for things like that?
Well, I'm no engineer, but I think the first solution to be is to make the sidewalks made for what they are, not a parking lot, but actual pedestrian traffic.
But you're talking about from their driveway, right?
From their driveway extended. I would say probably the first place to look is whatever the council's passed to have parking on the street. I think that sidewalks is more important than the parking on the street, whether it's restricted or not.
But didn't we just restrict that parking on the street? And now
A Street, there was A Street.
Okay, just A Street, not all the
Yes,
streets, okay.
It's usually most of those neighborhoods
Mhm.
is actually, a lot of neighborhoods are set up, you can't park on both sides of the street because if the fire truck wants to get down, you can't. So a lot of streets are set up to be parking on one side of the street, so you have several drivers, they might park across, either in front of their house or they might have to park across the street from what I've seen past number of years for how parking is set up to be.
Any other questions?
Do we think this would be enforceable? I feel like we've had the same conversation when Councilor McLaughlin was here about being able to actually enforce no parking on the sidewalk, even though we had the regulation.
Yes, I believe it is. I mean, because of the fact, I believe what it was is probably city legal was saying you can't, because you have this ordinance in effect, you can't prohibit somebody from parking over the sidewalk. If this is repealed, then it would give us every right to be able to enforce it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. McClung. All right, ordinance 2415.
An ordinance amending Greenwood Municipal Code, Chapter 8, Article 4, Section 8-32 to allow the Board of Public Works and Safety to set special event parking rates for city-owned parking facilities, sponsored by Campbell.
I think our Parks Director wants to talk about this.
I'll move to suspend the rules while he's making his way up here.
We have a motion by Mr. Hopper to suspend the rules on ordinance 2415 through first reading. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Lexi. Any discussion on suspension? Hearing none, then roll call on suspension of the rules through first reading on ordinance 2415.
Veteran.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye. Rules are suspended through first reading on ordinance 2415 by 7-0. Do I have a motion on first reading? Motion, Mr. Hopper, second. Second by Mr. Lexi. Now it's on the floor. Would you like to talk about this one?
I'm sure you guys are aware by now, April 8th, we anticipate not only us, but a lot of surrounding communities having a very large influx of out-of-town visitors into Greenwood. In an effort to ensure that we're protecting our assets from the city standpoint, and then not being on the receiving end of too much burden from the out-of-town visitors, we'd like to monetize some of the parking spaces around the city indicated in your guys' packets. A lot of the city lots, the community center lot, library west of the library, other parks as well around here in the downtown area.
Are there any questions?
Will the Worsville Road Sports Park, will they be able to get out there, or is it closed off?
That will be closed off. In fact, it will still be underneath the contract of the contractor at the time, so that site will be their responsibility.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none, then roll call on ordinance 2415, first reading.
Veteran.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye. Ordinance 2415 passes first reading 7-0. Do I have a motion for suspension through second reading? Motion, Mr. Hopper. Second by Mr. Lexi. Any discussion on suspension? Hearing none, then roll call on the suspension of the rules through second reading on ordinance 2415.
Veteran.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Rules are suspended on the vote of 7-0 through second reading. Do you have a motion on second reading? Motion, Mr. Hopper, second. Second, Mr. Lexi. Any discussion? Hearing none, then roll call on ordinance 2415, second reading.
Veteran.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hopper.
Aye.
Leskey.
Aye.
Moan.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye. Ordinance 2415 passes second reading on a vote of 7-0. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, miscellaneous business. This is the second opportunity for members of the public to address the council. If you'd like to do so, this time it's concerning items that are not on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to do so, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and there's a 5-minute time limit per speaker.
Hi, my name's Doug Walden. I live at 1200 Newark Court, Greenwood, Indiana. It's in the neighborhood of Alton Place. Here to request temporary no parking signs for the eclipse April 8th, I believe, to go along the main street of April. We are just west of Freedom Park and east of Honey Creek Road. Requesting that for safety purposes of police, fire, get in and out of the neighborhood if they need to, and quite necessarily for us to be able to get in and out of our own neighborhood as well.
All right. Thank you. I will say, was it your wife who called me? You know? I did get a phone. I did speak to a lady from Alden Place on the phone last week, and she called again today. I've not had a chance to call her back.
Maybe Tammy.
I'm sorry?
Tammy?
I think so.
She's part of our management company.
Okay. Yeah, but thank you. You can be seated. I spoke with, or sent emails, communicated with the chief, James Isom, and with Ms. Coons. And while we can create a temporary, it's possible to create temporary no parking zones, both of them said that while it's possible, it's not practical. Putting up signs, number one, to notice that there's no parking, it's not an expense the city probably doesn't want to do. And enforcing it from the chief's perspective, enforcing it would be nearly impossible. That day will be a busy day and the police will have other responsibilities. And so while it may be desirable in some aspects, it's not a practical answer. So that was their position on this.
But don't we put up signs along Smith Valley for, say, the Freedom Fest that you can't park along the side of the road? How's that any different?
I'm not sure, but
I think the chief's about to let us know.
I think.
Yeah, I thought this might help if I elaborate a little bit. So, yes, we can. We could put out paper signs just like we do, and that would not be cost prohibitive. The problem is this is very much like Freedom Fest in that we're bringing everyone in that day. We've got an idea of what to expect, but we really don't know how it happens, how tied up we're going to be with traffic. So the issue there is, even if we put them out, which that wouldn't be a problem, we are not going to have the resources to enforce the neighborhood parking issues. And if it was just that neighborhood, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's going to, I fear it will open Pandora's box, and then we'll have a bunch of neighborhoods following suit. And I think all that's going to do is tie up the dispatch center with calls when we're already overwhelmed.
What if the residents in Alden Place park their own cars there the night before so that nobody else can park there, or the day of, the morning of, before?
There's nothing prohibiting parking on the street that
Get creative.
as long as they're not blocking driveways or fire hydrants.
Or if they know somebody who owns an orange barrel company, just line them up there.
All right.
All right.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Any comments or discussion on the council on this issue?
I was just going to say that I do know that the concern, and I know Doug, we spoke about it earlier. I had a meeting otherwise planned in the planning office and just kind of brought it up with them. But that is the proximity to Freedom Park is the concern there as well. And the fact that that is the only means of exit and entrance into that neighborhood. In other words, there aren't any houses, as I believe, there are no houses that driveway up that road. All the roads come to that road in the neighborhood, and if it is filled with cars parked there to, you know, go to Freedom Springs, it's going to be a real mess for those guys. And so that was the concern. I understand the chief, I understand the personnel issue, but that was a concern of the neighbors.
The Hayward Road would be the same way, right? We get that many people.
If
parking lot on there.
If someone is parked illegally, I believe the penalty is a ticket. Not removing the vehicle. Is that correct?
Well, depends on how long it's parked there, I think,
Well,
right?
parked there for.
You could make it subject to immediate towing if you wanted. The question is whether or not they're going to be police officers to do it.
Like, how would the tow truck get in there? Nobody else can get there.
Anyway, it seems like a difficult situation. All right, any other discussion on the council on that issue? All right, anybody else wishing to address the council tonight? All right, council miscellaneous business. We have two items. One, the social contract. I believe the annual report was included in SharePoint, or whatever it's called now. And the contract is for $50,000, $25,000 from the council, $25,000 from the mayor's office. Any discussion? Do I have a motion on that to approve that contract? Motion by Ms. Gibson, a second. Second by Mr. Hopper. Any discussion on the social contract? We do. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. You should also receive some conflicts of interest. And I believe there were 4 of them. Do we need to read those in?
Yes.
Okay. Would you read those 4 in?
Can't catch your work.
So here.
Carmen Madsen, part-time recreation associate, for her spouse Jeffrey Madsen, for any interest she may have in his earnings as recreation activities coordinator with the City of Greenwood Parks Department. Cassandra Robinson, part-time field house associate, for her spouse David Robinson, for any interest she may have in his earnings as a truck driver laborer with the City of Greenwood Street Department. David Robinson, truck driver laborer, for his spouse Cassandra Robinson, for any interest he may have in her earnings as a part-time fieldhouse associate with the City of Greenwood. Jeffrey Madsen, recreation activities coordinator, for his spouse Carmen Madsen, for any interest he may have in her earnings as a part-time recreation associate with the City of Greenwood Parks Department.
Right. Any?
Move to accept.
I have a quick question though.
Yes.
With that last one, that Carmen Madsen and Jeffrey Madsen, is one the boss of the other? Is one the supervisor of the other?
I don't think
if he's the recreation coordinator and she's the part-time recreation associate, that's what I was asking. No, that's fine.
No.
I second the motion to accept.
We have a motion from Mr. Hopper to accept these conflicts of interest, second by Mr. Lexi. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Those are accepted unanimously. Any other miscellaneous business from the council? All right, hearing none. Other miscellaneous business, Corporation Council?
None.
Controller?
None.
Mayor?
Have a great night.
You are dismissed. Thank you, everyone.